Hi everyone, it's a live stream. We're talking about Blackpool, obviously. Bloody nightmare that we are. let's have a look. We've got some comments in already. Let's have a look. Mark Rowley, short stream. He says, sadly, I'm off work, so we'll miss it live. But I think we're going down this year, and we'll need a fire sale in the summer to get some of the big signings off the books. Sounds great. Yeah, I think you're right there. Flipping heck. Next one. Dom Clark. Dom Clark says you have too many quality players to go down if you get a decent manager. They didn't look quality on Saturday, honestly. I know it's people say this to me all the time, Blackpool are too good to go down, or the players are too good to go down. But the trouble is they're not playing well. They're not playing like a team that is going to stay up. And I think it's a massive job for us to stay up. In fact, it's some of the worst football I've ever seen at the moment, to be honest. It's actually embarrassingly bad. Eugene McGeever says Matt Bloomfield is being linked with the Blackpool manager job. Yes, I've seen that on View from the Tower. Would we like him? Luton Town manager. I did actually have a live stream with the Luton Town vlogger, and he really liked him. Actually, he kind of blamed the board more than the manager, but he quite liked him. And how am I doing? Says Eugene. I'm doing fine. Gary Cronshaw is here. Hello, Gary. Sure. Hello, Gary with a double R. When is someone going to have the balls to make a decision, a decent decision? Oh, what would be a decent decision? I mean, they've sacked Steve Bruce. So was that a good decision or a bad decision, or do you mean just a good decision on making a choice of a manager? And what would be your good decision? So I haven't got a clue, honestly. That was Ian R, by the way, that said that. Kieran Baines is here. Hello, Kieran. He says, hope you're well. I feel for the Blackpool fans. Yeah, feel for me at the moment. I tell you, I'm so sick of Blackpool, honestly, at the moment. They're just doing my head in, to be honest. Wow. Tim Robinson says $4.99 from Tim Robinson. God, you're welcome anytime, Tim. Thank you very much. My channel is fantastic. Thank you very much. I'll just leave that on all night. Thank you very much. Doron Tor says, are you going tomorrow, dude? I'll just show that. We'll go back to Tim. Am I going tomorrow? I'm thinking of doing, just to go and see a proper football team like Forest. No, I quite like it. There's no actual pressure on these Virtu Cup games. So who cares? Nottingham Forest under 21s. I'm not really bothered. But if it's nice weather, it's a nice cheap, entertaining night. Sometimes they play a few players that we haven't seen before, or some of like the young kids playing that. So it's a bit interesting for that. And of course, I haven't got all the pressure when I watch it, and I don't need to film it or anything as well, which is quite good. Is this new one here? Hang on this. I can't see who that is. I think Blackpool will get in a new manager after the international break, says Eugene McGeever. Hello, Lee. Hello. It's Elboy. Yes. Hello, Elboy. Just getting used to this system. I'm on a new system. Streamlabs. Streamlabs Talk Studio it is, so hopefully it should be in 1080p and looking good, sounding good, and everything else. Stephen Jones says that Matthew Bloomfield is close, I've been told. Yes, I'm reading all that on A View from the Tower. That's been on A View from the Tower, but honestly, normally it comes somewhere from left field after everybody says they seem to know who it's going to be. It's not necessarily. Adrian Morley. Hello, Adrian. You make me feel good. Evening, Lee. Very much. Get up, fella. New season, new hairstyle. You look fantastic. As usual, great barber. Great. What's this? A great bloke. Big up, Lee. One of the real ones. These are really hard to read. They're so small. I wonder if I can make that bigger so I can actually read it. So I'm not struggling. I can't. No, I can't get it to. It's too wide. If I'll tell you what, teething problems with this. Gary says he's good today. Good to know, Gary. I'm glad about that. I can read that. That's good. Blue Terrier. Don't write too much in the message. I can't see him. Bloomfield to Bloomfield Road. Yes, that would be good, wouldn't it? Bloomfield to Bloomfield Road. Says BFC is an embarrassment at the moment. I'm surprised anyone wants to manage us. Well, yeah, it's money, isn't it? What I mean? Who wouldn't? You wouldn't mind managing them, surely. Even if you manage them for 6 months, 6 weeks and got a payoff. Great money. There's money in it. That's why people want to become managers. You ignored my super chat. I didn't. Tim Robinson. It's there. $4.99 from Tim Robinson. Hi Lee, your channel is fantastic. Yes. I've had it up 3 times now. Tim, what do you mean I missed it? I've not ignored it at all. Your super chat is very, very welcome. So honestly, I appreciate it very, very, very much. In fact, it's such a rare thing. Can anybody top Tim's super chat? It's good that the good thing is on this new system, they actually come up on screen on the thing on my YOLO Box Pro, which did me editing. People would super chat me, and it would just come up as a blank, like a total blank on the screen. So is that showing? Can you see that now? Can you see that, Tim? If you can, I hope you can. I hope it shows up for everybody. Let me know if you can all see Tim's super chat. I'll just leave it there, like I said I was going to do. I'll just leave it. Makes me feel good. Kenneth Fryer says, get on. New manager. Blackpool needs him, but no chance. I mean, the thing that worried me, obviously, Dobbie did a good job, didn't he, last time, but he had no pressure on him, really. We were pretty much down. It was just like, go for it, wasn't it? Throw it, caution to the wind. And he got some good results. But hearing him say that he thought Blackpool's performance on Saturday against Stockport was good, is there anybody in this stream who's watched that game, whether you're at the game or you watched it on Tangerine TV yesterday, like I did on the sort of rerun thing, and watched that? Would you say that was good? If that is not the word I would use to describe that performance. We made Stockport look like bloody Real Madrid, honestly, and that's the worrying thing. Every time we play somebody at the moment, we look terrified of like taking the match to them, terrified of getting stuck in, terrified of making a mistake. Everything is nervy, and we're in League One, for God's sake. Division 3 we're in. It's just garbage. It's really hard to watch and take. Oh boy, says they are. Tim, we saw it the first time. Saw it the first time. It's there. I would never ignore a super chat. They're so rare. They're like, like Scotch Mish. You never get them. So I do appreciate it a lot. Christopher H. What does he say? Christopher H. says, if Bloomfield is appointed and can replicate his Wickham success, then he will turn our season around. I didn't know he was Wickham manager. Yeah, he did very well there, didn't he? We don't want Richardson. He would be a car crash appointment. And says Matthew Jones on that one. Let's see what else we got. See what anybody else has. Anybody got any good ideas? Anybody want anybody else other than Bloomfield? Mark Wheatley. Ali, what was your faults on lineup on Saturday? I was majorly disappointed. Brown drop, bowler just awful. What's happened to Bloxham? We need a fresh approach. No one from the past. Well, I think one of the things that was, and I've read all this on View of the Tower as well. We started 4-4-2, which is a bit of a mystery, really, because it's not been working, has it, for Steve Bruce? So you think, right, okay, Dobbie's come in, he's going to change it, he's going to go 4-3-3. He did go 4-3-3. Towards the end, and we did give it a go, but it was all too much, too little, too late. I just at the moment, I don't like to pick on players. I don't like that. But I'm not a big fan of Evans at the moment. I thought he was great last year, but for some reason he's just not in form. And I wouldn't pick him not because I don't like him, just because I just don't think he's playing very well. And I don't think he's in form. I don't think he's that great at the moment. And I definitely wouldn't pick him out. I don't think we look good when he's in. I don't think he does much at the moment. I don't know whether he's got an injury, whatever he's carrying, but I just don't think he's a passenger at the moment in games. And I would have gone with Brown over Evans. But then again, if Brown and Evans had been on and we'd have had those three, then Evans might, maybe Evans does not suit a two-man midfield. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't suit those two in the middle, two wide men, two in the middle. Maybe that's not his game. Maybe he needs three. Maybe it's not all down to Evans. Maybe it's just the fact that he should be in a midfield of three. Kenneth Price says, Hearts man, the man, but no chance. No. Mason Allen says he's only just joined. Sorry to mention Bloomfield. Didn't know if you had. Oh, if you had spoken about him. The only thing I know is that I did like a live stream with the Luton Town vlogger, and he liked him, and he thought the problem was more the board than him. He actually liked Bloomfield, so to be honest, I didn't even know it was the Wicker manager. You all know that I just watch Blackpool, and everything that I know about is Blackpool, and that's it. I don't know about anything. I couldn't tell you where Bloomfield's a manager, but now I've learned that he was a manager at Wickham. So if he was manager at Wickham last season, then he did really well, didn't he? Do you want Charlie Adam? Do we want Charlie Adam to get it? Is it double click to update? Okay. Charlie Adam will get. That gets rid of all. Right. Okay. I'm learning how to do these. This is new to me. It's. Oh. It's too small. It's just for some reason I can't read that. Anyway, you're saying keep representing the club in a fantastic and noble way, Lee. You are a gem. I must say, I missed the goal highlights from your footage, but guessing the club pressed you on that. Yeah, really. Yes, they did. They did, Adrian. There's not a lot I can do about it, really. It's just one of those things. It's crazy, really. It's like in other parts of the world, like in America, you can watch. I was watching Messi comes to America. And over there, the football clubs understand the power of social media, and I'm not just meaning like YouTube, and any kind of promotion by fans, whether it's they were bringing Lionel Messi in, and you can imagine his image rights are probably just like through the roof, aren't they? But there was a photograph, and there was just thousands of people all with the phones out taking pictures of him and videos of him, and they'll be all sharing it with their friends, and they'll be sharing it with their friends, and that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's a massive big sort of free advertise. It's all free advertising. And yet in this country, the fact that you do a vlog that goes out like the day after, everybody knows the result. If Blackpool won 4-0, or lost 4-0, or drawn 2-2, everybody knows the result. So it's not like a surprise to anybody who's watching it. And I always, when I did the highlights, I would try my best to show like exciting bits, trying to promote how good it is to watch football at Bloomfield Road. Now, I'm not showing any highlights, and you just got me and Pickle, and the football's terrible, and we're just moaning and groaning. And to be honest with you, I wasn't going to do football vlogs this year. What I really want to do, rather than the football vlogs, because I just don't see the point of you watching me moan and and groan about how bad it is. Okay, there's a few times, we've had a few late minute goals, but on the whole, it's pretty bloody miserable watching Blackpool at the moment. And what I want to do And what I can't seem to get you guys to do is I want to interview fans before the game, and I want to interview fans' reactions after the game. And that's really it. That's really, more or less just maybe have a few little clips of inside the ground. So you get the feeling in the ground, maybe some shots of the, fans singing and that, and a few maybe clips of me and Pickle, just giving our opinions. But I really want the opinions of you guys. This channel has always been about Blackpool fans. It's been trying to show the journey of Blackpool fans. And I get bored of listening to myself, honestly. You know what I mean? I don't want to listen to me all the time. So moaning in particular, I don't like. So if anybody wants, to just give me your thoughts, you can be as honest as you want. And coming out of the ground and getting that sort of raw reaction of what fans think is really what I'd like. And I don't know where to stand, where people can find me. Loads of people just walk past me, they're all walking past. I think it should just, get a big, shepherd's crook and crook at me or something. I've got a sort of a microphone holder for my mini mic, which might make me look, people maybe might notice the microphone, and then maybe come and talk to me, because I would like that. That would be, the sort of my sort of how I would like to do the videos from now on. I'm not allowed to film match footage. So, Stevie G. I don't know about that. Flipping heck. Stevie G. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. I don't know how this actually works. It's driving. Oh, yeah, there. I want Ian Everett, says G Raw. Well, he didn't do a bad job, did he, at Bolton, to be honest? And I remember there was a thing on him, when he was Barrow manager, and they called it, playing a style of Barrow-Salona. It was like Barrow-Salona, like Barcelona. But he did have Barrow playing very much in an Ian Holloway style. And I don't know if he particularly played like that at Bolton, but they always looked pretty good against us, Bolton. They never looked they always looked tough to beat under Ian Everett. I've got to say, I didn't think it was bad. I wouldn't mind Ian Everett. I like him for many reasons, especially because he came to see my dad in the hospice. So that was great. Richard achieved promotion with Wigan, says Christopher Heaney. Richard. Who's Richard? That's too much. Charlie Adam would be good for. Would he? Adrian? I don't know. He'd be good for the fact he's a legend, but sometimes legends shouldn't come back. A bit like Alan Ball, maybe. Mason Allen says Richie Wellens, but don't fancy paying $1 million. I do not want Evo. You don't want Evo. Okay. I'm not sure I want Richie Wellens either, to be honest. We've given him so much crap over the years, haven't we, really? Cy Cox says, mate of mine is a Bolton fan, and he says, Everett was so boring. Bolton fans singing sideways and backwards again. Ole, ole. Okay, well, that doesn't sound too good. We don't really want that, do we, either? Because that'd be just like Critch again, and we don't want that. We definitely do not want that. Gary Cruncher said, what match will qualify Latvia versus England tomorrow night? Kickoff 7:45. I've not been doing live streams, to be honest. I haven't done them for so long. There wouldn't be many people here. I don't know if you want a live stream, we could. Now I've got this new way of doing things. Maybe a live stream could be something. Right, next. Mickey Mellon, says Ian R. Lost my mouse. Right, there we go. Show on screen. Ian R says Mickey Mellon. There we go, Mickey Mellon. Anybody pick Mickey Mellon? He looked good with Tranmere. When Tranmere came to players that season where they went down, they were looking. He had them playing really, really well. Kind of Friars. Mark Haiti? Haiti for man? What's this one? God. Adrian Morley says that Mickey Mellon would be good for the bar. Would he? I don't know. I don't know. Does he drink a lot? Stephen Woods says a proven League One manager with Sadler providing decent funds for decent players. Well, kind of in the summer, I don't know whether you all thought the same as I did, but I thought this looked. I thought we'd done some good business in the summer. I thought we were, Pickle and I were excited in the summer. I think Simon Sadler's put a lot of money in, and what I can't believe is the amount of injuries that we're getting, and these are not injuries that are like, injuries that are done by the other team, where they go into us. And I mean, some of them probably are, but half the time we're just going down, we just go down with nobody around, no foul. It's one of those bad ones. We're getting all those sort of injuries where from nowhere somebody's just suddenly lying down and they're getting stretched off, and they've like just twisted an ankle, or they've done something with a knee or whatever. It's those kind of injuries we're getting, which is just weird. Who do I want? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think this Bloomfield sounds promising. There's somebody else as well that's been here. It was on a view from the tower. Let me just Charlie Daniels. Do you know much about him? Ex-Bournemouth and Portsmouth figure. Obviously, Charlie Daniels. That's in The Devil Went Down to Georgia, but yeah, Charlie Daniels. Do we want him? Do we know anything about him? When people say who do I want, I just want somebody who can actually just bring good football to watch. I don't care who it is, as long as the football changes and the mentality of the players changes, and there's just something rotten in this club at the moment, and I don't know if it's the managers. I mean, this Julian Winter. I mean, I'm not his biggest fan, but what is he do? What has he done? He'd be sacked by me, to be honest. I mean, whatever he's doing, it's just rubbish, isn't it? I mean, the club is just, the numbers are going down, the attendances are going down, the good field factory is going down. They did all that stupid pricing last year, and it just upset so many people. And we get big crowds, and you get like searched and going into the south stand when for whatever reason that would be. And I don't know, it's just there's something wrong. The atmosphere of the club, the way they're running it, really, it's gone from being, can't say I like the Oysters, but it was more a family club then. You felt more like you were part of a family. You don't feel part of a family at all anymore. I don't feel part of a family at all. And I was all, my channel was all about bringing people, and getting people excited about going to Blackpool. I wanted to see it full. I wanted to do things that, that promoted the club, and I wanted a video that made people excited to come to watch Blackpool. And Jane and I followed us all the way, the whole championship season, home and away, trying to get people enthusiastic about Blackpool. And I'm not allowed to do anything now, so apart from moan. So well, they've lost all my enthusiasm for them. They've upset me. They really upset me, especially the media team. When they told me I had to leave the ground when it was a family fun day, trying to promote it, and this, they said it was just mean and horrible. Yeah, and it's still really, honestly, it upset me bad, and it's upset me, and it still upsets me now. And I won't forgive them for the way they were with me, and that's it. So if you do things horrible to people, then I don't feel like doing things good for them, to be honest. So so what's this? Adrian Morley says, "You're right, Lee. Wish the club would get on board and be more lax with you guys. Never mind, you were always fair with usage. Big up, Lee." Yeah, I mean, we don't take money out of the bloody club's pockets. It's not like you make money on it at all. It was never about making money. Let's just go back up. Right, there's quite a lot come through here. I've missed a lot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, those are not the people I need, Mason, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's most people don't fancy being on camera and being posted on YouTube. If they don't, then obviously there's no, those people are not the people, but some people do, I've done loads of interviews with fans and people like that. If nobody from Blackpool at all wants to be on camera and be interviewed and give their opinions, then I can't do that. You know what I mean? But if people want to come over, I'm not scary. You know what I mean? It's just whether they want to give their opinions. But it would be a lot better, to hear everybody's opinions and get other people's opinions other than me, in my opinion. Yeah, it probably is just one of the reasons why people might not come over. But it's a shame, really. Because I want to hear the thoughts. You know what I mean? I want to hear your thoughts. And I'm sure everybody else wants to hear what Blackpool fans are feeling in that moment, whether you're coming out elated because we've just scored a last minute winner, or you're coming out dejected because it's just been awful. But it needs, we need to get those opinions. Are we at home on the 25th of October? Let's have a look. Are we at home on the 25th of October? Peterborough United away. That one is. Sorry, we're not. We are not at home on the 25th. Sorry, we're not. Oh, Eugene, I don't know about that one, really. I don't think so. How about Southgate, the ex-England manager, as the next manager of Blackpool? Well, he was popular, wasn't he? I mean, he did a great job with England if you look at his record, but he just bottled every, he did well, didn't he? Apart from bottling it. But, an international manager with international players is not some manager, he's not the same manager as it would be being a manager of Blackpool, I suppose. It's not the same, is it? Evo for me, says Paul Berry. Evo for me. Christopher. Oh, okay. Yeah. Liam Richardson, of course. Yeah. Sorry. I couldn't think who you meant. Liam Richardson. Yeah. Yeah. He was doing all right with Wigan, wasn't he? I suppose. Kieran Bain says, I will admit, it's hard to go to a game when your football is bad, and it's hard to be excited. Yeah, it is hard to be excited, and it's mentally tough, and you don't want to go because you want to. You're spending your money, you're buying your season ticket, and for whatever reason, you dream of promotion, you dream of a good season, you dream of being top of the league, but you just want to watch good football and be entertained and see a team that's tried and maybe we're unlucky or whatever. You can get behind a bunch of losers that are trying, but we don't even look like we're trying. I don't think Blackpool look like they're putting any effort in at all. They never get to a second ball. If there's a run on, we never get there. We let them dominate us, and we're just, I don't know, defensive mind. We look honestly so terrified of playing football. It is excruciating to watch at times. It is so bloody bad, and it is so bad, and I can't believe it is so bad. Kieran Bain says, yeah, that feeling when Ipswich was gross. Yes. Okay, Crunch says, how is Jane? She's absolutely fine. Thank you. She's good. Matthew Jones says, Bloomfield or Evo for me. 1 million for Wellens is too much of a gamble for a large fee. We need someone who can reinvigorate Bowler back to his best. We're so enthusiastic to come back, wasn't he? You can't believe he's not playing well, but is that Bowler, or is it just the way we're playing? BH says, I'm sure with tongue in cheek, Mick McCarthy. Bloody Mick McCarthy. Wayne Rooney, I'm not even going to put it up. Klopp, yeah, I'm sure Be real, Eugene. Klopp. Does he come here? Big Sam, no thank you. Not really. We've had him before. And yeah, he did a good job back then, but I can't forgive him for bloody Wembley and West Ham, to be honest. Could never forgive him. Ian R says we seem to be having this conversation far too often now. Yeah, we do seem to be, don't we? Another bloody manager. Yeah, it is sad that it's soured for me. There was no need, but some people are just shitbags. They really are. And it's all just computer says, or, you know, maybe they were told to say whatever they said, but it was just pretty poor, to be honest. And it has really cheesed me off big style. Luke Chapman says my Northampton Town season is bad. Yeah, not as bad as us though. Where are you in the league? Let's have a look. Where are Northampton Town? I mean, we can only drop one place lower, and I think we will because they've got a game in hand, haven't they? So please put Rotherham. There's only Rotherham below us, isn't there? So let's have a look. Northampton Town are currently 14th in the league, mid-table with 14 points. Blackpool at the moment, second bottom with 8. Who's having the worst season? Us or you? I'd swap places to right now, mate, honestly. Eugene McGeever says there is no fight in this Blackpool team right now. No, there isn't. You're right. Ian R says, I see the big Appleton's side won for a change on Saturday. Did they? I don't even know who he's managing now. Sean Stream. What about Russell Martin, says Kieran Baines, who is ex-Rangers and Southampton Norwich manager? I don't know much about him, Kieran, to be honest. I don't know. Anybody else fancy him? A WG fan says, I have heard reports that Matt Bloomfield is potentially coming to Blackpool. Well, he'd fit in, wouldn't he, with a name like Bloomfield? Bloomfield is coming to Bloomfield Road with Bloomfield Bear. It all sort of fits together, doesn't it? B, and B. Maybe it's meant to be 3 Bloomfields all together at once at the club. Well, 3 things about the club that are Bloomfield. Maybe it's written in the stars. Christopher Heaney says Martin is a disaster. So Chris Heaney does not want Martin to be manager. Russell Martin, disaster. What's a disaster about him, Chris? Has he done something really bad? Ex-Rangers. How did he do at Southampton? Did he get him up? Get him down? Did he come out the fill me in? Because I don't know much about him. Just let me know what you thought about, Dobbie, for instance. I thought give Dobbie a chance. I'm thinking to myself, maybe he'll do really well. And then when I read he was saying, they played well. I mean, post in the comments, did you think that performance by Blackpool at Stockport was good? Would it be of all the things you would describe? I mean, I'll tell you what, in 1 to 3 words post, what word you would use to describe the performance by Blackpool at Stockport? Would it be good? If you just say like 1 word answer, what was your verdict on Blackpool's performance at Stockport be? And I can't believe that Dobbie thought it was good. Good that we didn't get beaten 9-0, but we could have quite easily got beat by a lot more. So Christopher Heaney says he failed at Southampton and Rangers, possession for the sake of it and no end result. No, we don't want that. No, we definitely don't. That's we're just going back to like Critch again, aren't we? We're just passing it around for no reason and backwards. Oh no, I can't stomach that. I don't want that. Eugene McGeever says no. I think that means no. You wouldn't describe that performance as good. What would you describe? What would be your words to describe Blackpool at Stockport on Saturday? Especially the first half, because we did have a little bit of a go in the second half towards the end, last 20 minutes, maybe, we came a bit into it and we put them under pressure, which was good to see. But like that first half, we were just not in the game. I think Bowler made a run, didn't he? And he made a really good run. put a nice ball actually through, and we just, he fluffed his lines, didn't he? And then got injured. Pathetic. Yes, yes, perfect word, Christopher. Pathetic. It was pathetic, wasn't it? As a team playing in League One against a League One side. We're not in the cup, drawn Tottenham or something away from home, and we're going to Tottenham, and it's they've got multi-million-pound players on the bench on hundreds of millions. We're playing Stockport County, and God, they looked so good, didn't they? They looked really good. It's just a thought, said Kieran. It's not gone down well. Clearly not. There's obviously something you see in him that we don't see in him. Ian R says the problem we have got is that no one will leave a good club to come and manage a disaster of a club like us. So we are left with the scrag ends that are unemployed. Well, it's very difficult to get a manager that's like flying with a club to leave to come and manage somebody who's at the bottom of the league. We all know that. So it probably is a big ask for us to get to wrestle somebody away from another club unless they really want to come. I mean, there's talk about Wellens because he wants to come back up north. Could be a move for him up north, but I'm surprised he wants to. I'm surprised he even likes Blackpool after all the abuse we've given him for the years when he's come back. So I don't know, but he has done a decent job with Leyton Orient. He's beat us quite a few times as well. He's certainly plays better football than we do under Richie Wellens. It wouldn't be a backward step, would it, to play football like we've seen Leyton Orient playing? But it was Taylor, that scuffed it. Just a great chance. Bowler put it through to him lovely, and he just like miskicked it, didn't he? And very poor. Damien says his word would be disappointing. Yeah, I could agree with that. It was disappointing. You wouldn't say good, would you? There we go. Forest sign Schuler from our youth team. Nothing on the BFC official site. What do the media team do? It is a question, isn't it? I wonder how much money 11 Media charge. I wonder how much they get a season. You know what I mean? I don't know. Some of it I like. I must admit, I've said before, and I will give praise where praise due. I subscribe to Tangerine TV, and if you're a Blackpool fan, it's for nothing. Basically, is it $1.99 a month? It's for nothing. And some of the stuff they do, the behind the scenes stuff and all that, down at the training ground, the little fun competitions they have and stuff. It's all good. It is great, and I do like it. I just don't like particular people, and there we are. Oh, right, okay. So here we go. Paul Berry gives us three words. That'll do. Lethargic, boring, and frustrating. Indeed. Well, yeah. I mean, that was our best time, wasn't it? When we had Colin Calderwood with Critch. I think a lot of it was down to him, because Critch without him was not the Critch he was with him. So what's happened to Colin Calderwood? He was credited with turning things around and winning promotion. Stuart McCall, is that a suggestion? Stuart McCall, who's he manager of, or is he another one that's out of work at the moment? I mean, are you all sort of? Are you like me, where you actually like don't want to go? Really, to be honest, don't want to go and watch Blackpool. It's like, it's hard to say, but that I don't want to go. I really don't want to go. I go under duress. I go when I'm forcing myself to go to the game. You know what I mean? And I'm going with a negative mindset from the minute I put my I've even given up on trying to wear lucky stuff. You know what I mean? That's normally a thing. I mean, I'll wear my lucky hat for whatever. I'll wear my lucky top or whatever. Same underpants, socks that I wore last time. Whatever. I try and make a note of the things I had on when we win. I can't, honestly. I used to park in a lucky space. I don't care anymore. There doesn't seem to be any lucky spaces. I can't find one anyway to have as a lucky space. And I just go and I'm just thinking, oh my God, we're going to lose. Oh my God, what crap, who's going to get injured? Who's going to be carried off? What we're going to lose by? How much fun am I going to have? I've got to make a video about it. It takes me hours and hours and hours to do. And I just think, God, what could I be doing other than this? And yet this is my addiction. This is my addiction. So I don't know what you guys are like, but I am struggling so bad at the moment to get. Ian says, I don't think I can remember us playing as bad as against Stockport. I mean, it was really bad. I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking the same thing. It was so bad, wasn't it? I mean, it was just bad. Really, really, like proper bad. You could have that first half. It could have easily been, we could, if Stockport would have had the shooting boots on and the finishing boots, and we hadn't just got, we did get blocks in. To be fair, we got some, good blocks in to keep them out in that first half, but it could have easily been 3, 4, 5-0 on another day. We were just not at the races. We were chasing shadows. We were terrified that Stockport were just so like dominating us, weren't they? They were, you were just, I was listening to like Steve Thompson, and he was like saying, Blackpool are not getting any rest with the ball. They're not getting any rest. They're just like losing it straight away or hoofing it away, or, there's just no relief from the pressure that Stockport are putting you under. And it's hard to watch. And it was hard to watch. And that's why I can't believe that Dobbie came out and said that he was actually, it was good. They played well. He was proud of them or whatever. God almighty. Kieran Bain says, in the mindset of Blackpool fans, nothing right now is not good enough. I just think Blackpool need experienced head in the club right now, but you want someone that can bring you exciting football. Yeah, we do, but have we got any? We haven't even got any. We can only feel the team. We've got that many injuries. It's beyond belief. We watch. Stockport, 2 of our players had to go off injured. Did any Stockport players have to go off injured? No. So what is it? Every single game, somebody is going off injured. Everybody else plays us. They make substitutions. Players go off to be substituted. Our players are getting stretched off, carried off. It's just, it's mind-boggling. So I think we're down to 13 fit professionals. God help us, honestly. Whoever comes here has got a hell of a job on, just a hell of a job. Damie says, it feels like the club has hit rock bottom. It does indeed. And relegation is a very real possibility. I don't like to say it, but it definitely is at the moment. Unless somebody can turn this absolute shite around, then yes, we are definitely in a relegation battle. And it could quite easily, be a relegation battle. You know what I mean? It could quite easily. Frank Scoop is giving us the scoop. He says Matt Bloomfield is odds on to be next manager, but that's the thing. It's like there won't be many people betting on Blackpool manager, but there'll be Blackpool fans betting on Blackpool manager. And whenever something comes up on A View from the Tower, people will be laying money on it, and that's why it's probably favourite. The club don't give anything away. They never do, and it's very rare that it's very rare that people know, before they announce it. There's lots of people in the know or always in the know. Well, that doesn't always mean they are in the know. But I don't know. It's a scoop. Maybe Frank Scoop, you've got the scoop. Ian says relegation is more than a real possibility as things stand right now. I have never felt this bad, and I have supported BFC since the 1960s. It is as bad as it gets, isn't it? It really is. Well, if you've watched it since the 1960s, though, you would have, like, seen the relegation under Alan Ball. That was pretty bad. I mean, there has been some terrible seasons. You tend to only really remember the seasons that were great. Everything else just like blends into a bit of a much of a muchness. But I've said it before. I don't really care what division Blackpool are playing in. Really, it doesn't matter if we're in League Two, League One, the Championship, the Premier League. All that matters is winning football matches. And when Blackpool scored that late winner with 10 seconds to go in that game, the feeling of euphoria that I got at that moment is exactly the same feeling as if we'd have got that goal against Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. The feeling when you're watching football, it doesn't matter what division you're in, it's the same. But you want to be winning and up at the top of the league. It doesn't matter whether you're up at the top of the league in League Two, going for promotion, up at the top in League One, going for promotion, up in the Championship at the top, going for promotion. All that is great. Even if you don't make it at the end, at least you're at the top with like a dream. And the football's great, and you're watching winning football. And there's something about when you're near the top of the league that things go your way that don't go your way when you're bottom of the league. You get the little decisions. You play a team and they're coming frightened and their defense make a mistake and they cock up and they give you a goal. And there's just something to do with the momentum of being on a roll, being top of the league. And it doesn't matter, even if you were non-league, even if Blackpool folded and we went right back down to the absolute bottom of the league and every year we're top of the league getting promotion, it would be as exciting as being in the Premier League, because being in the Premier League was great when we were doing really well at Christmas. I thought we were going to stay up, but then it just became horrible, and the relegation was horrible, but it's no more horrible than getting relegated from the Championship, and will be no more horrible than getting relegated from this division. It's just horrible depending on how the football is. But football's great. Doesn't matter if you're in the Championship. Doesn't matter if you're in League One. It doesn't matter. You just have to watch good football and winning football and be that sort of competitive team. Even if you don't get up, even if at the end of the season you don't make it, at least you've had a good season. We're just having season after season after season of disappointment, dross, crap. Christmas is ruined. I say it loads of times. Teams come to Bloomfield Road on a nice sunny day at the end of the season, and they always seem to be they're all coming fancy dressed because they're coming to Blackpool. They're coming to have a good time. They're all staying over the weekend. They're going to the pleasure beach, and we sit there season after season with these teams coming like that, celebrating, jumping up and down in the sunshine, having a wonderful time, and we're having a miserable time. We're having a miserable time at Christmas. We're having a miserable time right now, and I'm sick of having a miserable time watching Blackpool. I'm sick of it. And Jane was right. She came out of the Middlesbrough video once and she said, football basically is like years and years of shit and crap, and you just get the odd like good time. You get the odd promotion. Yeah, those times are fantastic, but even if you can't get the promotions, at least watch a team that's playing good football. It's all I ask. It's all I want. I don't care if I get promoted. I just want that. Ian Barron. Hello, Ian Barron. Could be playing you soon, the way things are going. That'll be long. Hi, everyone watching. Hope you're well and having a great day. We're having a great day. Everything's great, Ian, apart from football. We need something Darlington. We need a link to Darlington in our lives somehow, I think. Kieran Baines says, I just really hope it just gets better. I do have a soft spot for Blackpool, as you know, Lee, and it hurts me to see how bad it is. I just hope it gets better. I know. Thanks, mate. I wish it could too. I really do. I wish I could do something. I even said to Jane, I sometimes feel like, writing to the club and saying, look, I don't I don't want to be part of the problem. I don't want to be moaning. I wish I could do something that if I could do anything to help, I would. Honestly, if I could do anything, if maybe I should contact them. Maybe me hoping they're going to contact me one day. But honestly, I would do anything if I could help. If what I do could help in any way, if I could, I would. Honestly, it would be my biggest wish. If I could help. Yes, it does. It does indeed. Everything starts in football with Darlington FC. It is a fact. Colin Coyle says, who do you want, Lee? I'm going to the Pleasure Beach on Friday. I have no idea, Colin. I'm not bothered who it is. Really, I couldn't care less who it is, as long as whoever it is they make the right decision this time. But I don't know. I've said it loads of times. Is the problem the managers, or is the problem something else? Because there's this constant repeating cycle that goes on and on and on, and it's been going on, since we got promoted into the Championship. This sort of failure death cycle, getting rid of a manager, getting somebody in, getting the wrong manager, they don't work, another manager, they don't work, another manager, they don't work, and no manager works. And is that because the managers don't work? Is it because there's too much interference with the managers? Is there something else? Is the process of finding managers wrong? Have we got the wrong people in behind the scenes? I mean, honestly, if I'd won the Euro Millions and I'd just, conveniently won the Euro Millions when Oyston lost the club, and the club was going for 10 million or whatever it was, and I've got 80 million pounds, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, right, go on. I'll spend 10 million on Blackpool Football Club. I wouldn't have a clue. Honestly, I wouldn't have a clue how to run a football club. And I feel that Simon Sadler is exactly that. He bought a football club, but hasn't got a clue how to run a football club. And whatever decisions he's making, whoever he's bringing in, I don't know who's advising him on these things. He's certainly not getting the people that have been brought into the club, be it like David Downs, head of recruitment, and Julian Winter, head of pissing everybody off. Those people that he's bringing in just are not doing anything, are they? They're not making the football, they're not helping making the football better, and they're certainly not making the atmosphere better, and they're certainly not making the relationship with the football club and the fans better. And it's not, I've said it before, it's got nothing to do with inviting the usuals to fan forums, and including minority groups and all that is just utter garbage. You know what I mean? That there's a way it is, I will say it is more welcoming at Bloomfield Road. In the South Stand it is. There's a lot of stewards in there that talk to me. I like them. There's a lot of stewards that that are not Blackpool people, if you know what I mean. Stewards at Blackpool always used to be from local people who work for the club and were employed by the club and were interviewed by the club and probably got the job paid by the club, whether they were working on the turnstiles or they were stewards or whatever. And they were all local Blackpool people. And now we have stewards in that are clearly nothing, they don't know, they're not from Blackpool. I mean, I do speak to a few of them occasionally, and they'll be Manchester City fans or, from somewhere else. And they're not Blackpool people. And I think Blackpool is like it's a little friendly community town, and everything would be so much better if things were just done the way the Oysters used to do it, or probably all on the cheap. You know what I mean? They had a media guy. They didn't have 11 media coming in. They had a media guy who did it all. Did it all. And I don't know. There's something so anti-Blackpool about everything that we do, because we're trying to be like, I don't know, Tottenham Hotspurs or Man United or Liverpool. We're trying to be a corporate entity and have a products and all this utter shite that you hear them talk. And it's not about that. It's about family and community and togetherness. And I've always said it, if Blackpool fans are together and Blackpool fans, are passionate and singing and making loads of noise, we as a club, we can punch way above our weight. But at the moment, there's like a massive disconnect on that completely. Sorry to say, but there is. Rob Walker. Hello, Rob. He says Luke Williams is out of work. Ex-Swansea, you'd be excellent. Promoted with Notts County a few years ago. Luke Williams. I don't know him, but thanks. That's one I've not heard of. But thanks for that. Anybody else? No Luke Williams. See you later, Gary. Thanks for coming on. Do appreciate you coming on. Always nice to hear from you. Ian R says, yeah, who actually makes the final decision regarding the manager selection? Yeah, who is it? And why do they think they're doing a good job? Because they're not, are they? That's it, as big as it gets. Right. Christopher Heaney says, I'm convinced that Simon Sadler has been badly advised, and it's a shame Brett Geraghty left the club a couple of years ago. Yes, we certainly haven't gone any better, have we? I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of Ben Mansford, and yet, you're thinking maybe he did a better job. I didn't like the way he got to the point where he was shouting at referees and going in and causing. I don't think that was a good sort of image to portray, that they're going in shouting at referees and stuff. But no, Brett Geraghty was, there was a connection with Brett. I like Brett. We had to go, Jane and I had to go in and see the club. I've talked about it many times, and of course, you could see that Brett was kind of embarrassed that we were getting dragged in. Ben Mansford was all corporate, but Brett clearly wasn't, and you could see he was there, and he was trying to calm the waters and trying to kind of make it not look too bad on us. But and Ben Mansford, really upset me. Not with anything he wanted me to do, but just because when he told us that, the aim of the club was to finish 1 point above relegation, that saying that to me, I was like, why are you in charge of this club? Because if that's your ambition to finish 1 point above, 1 place above relegation, then it's no wonder we're in the mess we're in. You can't have ambition like that. If you have ambition like that, it's only going one way. But you would feel that the club has the ambition to get promoted. Surely they can't be in this division thinking we just got to stay 1 place above relegation. Because if they are, that's again why we're down the bottom. But I'm sure Simon Sadler seemed to be going for it this summer, didn't he? I think everybody you spoke to in the summer was really happy with the transfers. I was really happy when we got Josh Bowler back. And he's not as yet shining, but I don't think he's properly fit yet, to be honest. He looks like he's carrying a bit of weight to me, to be honest. He's not as slim as he was when he was here before. Stephen Jones says Danny Roll will be perfect. He left Sheffield Wednesday early in the season. Yeah, he was doing all right. Sheffield Wednesday, wasn't it? They had done quite well, in spite of absolutely mega problems with the owners there, haven't they? So yeah, maybe Danny Roll. I don't know whether he's we've been looking at him, but yeah, another one that I hadn't even thought of. I think that's it. I think we've done all the comments. Anybody else want to? Anybody else any thoughts on maybe just are you happy with a 4-4-2? Do you want a 4-3-3? Do you think a 4-3-3 would suit us better, or a 4-3-2-1 maybe, or do we like us with a back four? Could we do with like a defensive mid in front of the back four? Will we like that in that midfield role? Is Evans really not that bad? It's just the fact that he's playing basically in a midfield two, and that's not his position. Maybe he likes to be in a midfield of three, and maybe have a bit more space and time to do things he wants to do. He doesn't seem to bust a gut at the moment. I mean, does anybody think he does? I wish he'd stop taking like free kicks, and I really wish he would. And I wish he'd stop hitting these long balls, just like that never ever find anybody and kind of go straight through to the keeper. He does that a lot. He did a lot of that at Stockport, didn't he? Just aimless ball forward, just to nobody, and it just, keeper puts us right on the back foot again. I don't know. There's just something. There's something wrong, and I don't know what it is. Kieran Bay says I have to go, but it's good to catch up and speaking. Have a good night, Lee. Yeah, nice to see you, Kieran. It's always nice of you to come as an Ipswich fan and come on. I know you're kind of Ipswich Blackpool, so it's good to have you on. And thanks for always kind of looking out for us and our results and feeling the pain that we all feel here, because we are in pain at the moment. I am seriously in pain with the football, but I might just go tomorrow and enjoy myself. Carl says, get in. I think that's me. Was it Charlad? To me anyway, probably. Right, I think that is I think that's it. I think we've done an hour. There's been a few names thrown up there. A lot seem to fancy. Will we say Bloomfield would be Matt Bloomfield, maybe the front runner? Yeah, yes, I agree. That's kind of me as well, Ian. That's me. I totally agree. I'd be happy with any setup as long as we scored goals and played good football, yeah, and just played, play competitive. You've got to, in football, you've got to get on top of the other team. You've got to take control. You've got to take charge of the game. You have to. You have to put them on the back foot, and you have to pressurize them, and you have to close them down, and you have to force them back and get superiority on the game early on. And that's exactly what Stockport did on Saturday. They just were all over us, and we were hanging on for dear life. And that's what I want to see. That's what gets you wins. If you play like that, you get, you'll win more than you'll lose. But when you look like cowards, when you look like you're terrified, when you look like you're hanging on, when you look like defending for your lives, it's so hard to actually go up and try and even create a chance, because you're so busy being terrified of making mistakes or losing the ball, or the ball's a hot potato, you don't want it, you're kicking it anywhere. And that's what it was at Stockport. It was absolute utter trash. I don't know about that one. Show this one first. Not a Blackpool fan, but it's hard to see Blackpool in this position. An outsider's perspective, do you think your ownership has gone as far as you can with him? Fatal 5-star, kind of, yeah. I think most Blackpool fans, if they're honest, would say he's out of his depth. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He hasn't really got. Unfortunately, football nowadays is totally about. It's about money, and the clubs that do well are those clubs that spend a lot of money and go for it. And really go for it. You think of what Birmingham did last year. You think of what Wrexham did last year to get themselves out of League One. They spent stupid money, but to spend stupid money, you've got to have somebody with billions, and Simon Sadler hasn't got that kind of money, and he hasn't. There's a lot of things need to be done at Bloomfield Road, a training ground, really they've done a decent job tarting up the East Stand, but really it wants completing, and there's a lot of maintenance involved in it because the Oysters built everything on the cheap. I do know that because a friend of mine came into the club as like a financial guy in the interim period. And, they basically had figured out that the amount of money it's costing to actually upkeep the stadium, they'd have been better just like knocking it all down and starting again, because there's so many things wrong with it, because they always did everything on the cheap. So there's this big, massive maintenance thing that goes on all the time, and the pitch, keeping the pitch done, and all the work they've done in the summer, and there's still more work to be done. We all know that the PA system is just utter trash. It was weird. They had some like speakers, I've said it before, pre-season when we played West Brom, outside the ticket office on the road. They had these speakers that were like modern versions of the kind of ones we have, but like, I don't know, they sounded amazing. You could hear them from the Armfield Club, announcing some of the next game. And I wasn't sure if they were testing them speakers out as maybe putting them in as speakers, but if we got them, it'd be damn crystal clear. The PA's terrible. That needs doing. The East Stand needs doing. The training ground needs doing. So it does need a lot of investment. And I either think Simon Sadler could maybe do with like Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds have done with Wrexham. They've brought a guy in. They realised, to get themselves into getting into the Championship is going to be harder. They've got to have more money and probably more money than okay, the Hollywood actors, and they have a lot of money, but they haven't got just money to burn. So they've got, this guy watched the show from Canada. He just sold a big, massive shopping mall in Canada or something, and he had loads of money to spend. And he loved the show. He'd been watching it. He loved Wrexham, and he wanted to invest. And they got him involved. So they've got people in, who are really good. They got a CEO in who's like I think he was from like Real Madrid or in Milan or something. Really, really clever guy. They've gone for it. And if Simon Sadler hasn't got the money to do it properly, then either, it's always said the club's up for sale, but anything's up for sale. You can say the club's up for sale. Anything is up for sale at the right price. So I'm sure Simon Sadler would probably, he's probably not enjoying it. I mean, if you think I'm not enjoying it, you're not enjoying it. Simon Sadler must be absolutely bloody hating it, to be honest, because it's all his money he's spending and he's getting nowhere with it. And, he's getting managers in and they're not doing a good job and he's sacking another one. It must be awful. It must be awful to be Simon Sadler. So either he needs help, as I said before, he needs financial help, and I would have thought he would know people with a lot of money, seeing as he's dealt with people who had a lot. He's run a $1 billion hedge fund. He must know some people with money. He must have connections somewhere. Like the Oysters found Bellicon. It changed everything, didn't it? They were never, they didn't have the money really to spend that you need, but they brought him in and he put some money in, not a lot of money, but it made a big difference. But now you got to put a lot more money than that in. So yeah, I kind of think that Simon Sadler would be happy to go, and I think most Blackpool fans wouldn't be sorry if he left, and they wouldn't be sorry if he got help. They wouldn't be sorry if they just saw ambition. I mean, Blackpool fans were really excited this summer. We did see ambition, but it's dramatically failed, and I don't know why. I'm sure Simon Sadler doesn't know why it's just so dramatically failed, and it is really poor. It's like you can't believe all the players we brought in and how bad we are. There's certain things like you would have thought that this Horsfall would have been in as a defender. He's got him for Stockport. It's supposed to be the mustard. Well, would you though? Wow, why would you? After hearing what he said, Callum, you probably only just joined this stream, but with Dobbie thinking that performance at Stockport was good, I'm not sure I would keep Dobbie, to be honest. If he come out and said that was good, and then I don't know, is he the man for the job? Because he must be the only man in Blackpool that actually thinks that was good, because it was certainly not good. Danny Roll, yeah, from Glasgow Rangers, yeah, that he has been mentioned already. Damien says, let's hope they make the right appointment as manager, Lee. I feel sorry for Dobbie because he doesn't have the players available right now. Well, no, he doesn't. But then again, would you have stuck? I was disappointed he stuck with more or less the same team that Steve Bruce we've been playing with. You put Lee Evans in, who I don't think he's on. I don't think he's an asset at the moment. Lee Evans, for whatever reason, he's not the player he was last season. He's not playing really well, and I'm not sure I would have, I would have dropped Brown for him. I just don't think I would. I don't think any of you would either. I don't think you'd put Lee Evans in. In fact, at the moment, just the fact, even when he comes on, I said to Pickle, my whole heart just drops when I see it's Lee Evans coming on. Honestly, I just think, oh my God, because he's just not playing well. He's a good player. I don't, there's nothing against Lee Evans, but at the moment, he is not an advantage to bring on. He's really not. He's not a good thing to bring on. Paul Crisp is here. Hello, Paul. He says, evening, Lee. I know it's a hard time. Keep the faith. It's hard to keep. You would keep him. Honestly, if you like Dobbie, can't just judge him on one game. So maybe we'll see how he does in this cup tomorrow. I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go. I've kind of made my mind up. I'm going to go because there's no pressure on it. So I don't care whether we win or lose, even though I always want to win everything at Tiddlywinks. But I don't. It doesn't hurt me if we do lose, like it does if we lose in the league. Forest Fan TV. I think I must be lost. Are you coming up to Blackpool to watch the game? How you doing, Wolf? Are you all right? Charlie Heim is a shout. Is he a shout? Is he a shout? Did he do well at Fleetwood? Did he? Yeah, I like Charlie Adam, the player. I'll never forget him, but is he the manager? Is he a good shout? Richie Wellens, people are saying that. I don't know why he come back to Blackpool after we've been giving him so much shit up. Every time he comes back, we give him abuse. I don't know if it'd be great. Ian R says, I have to go now. Lee, lovely to have a bit of input. I think we all have learned something tonight. I don't know if we are. Have we learned anything? Maybe learn the fact that, yeah, I would love to help out if I could. I don't want to be part of the problem. I'd like to be part of the solution, really, would be the thing. Fatal Firestar says, I remember when I was back up there for my biological dad's funerals, he was a Pool supporter, and you could feel the excitement in the air for the season. Yeah, but it's kind of gone downhill. Yeah, it was. We were honestly, Blackpool fans were proper excited. We did think it had been a good summer. Got some good players in. People were thinking, automatic. Yeah, honestly, we're too far. There's too many divisions between us, Wolfie. But yeah, no, it's great. It's yeah, of course, I miss the the banter we had as well when we're together. But I hope you're doing well, Barry Ferguson. Well, he did all right. Did pass back Barry, didn't he? When he was in charge, he did all right. Boys Backyard says, hi there from a Nuneaton Borough fan. Hello, Nuneaton Borough fan. What brings you here? Why would you be on a stream about who Blackpool are going to get as the next manager and us all moaning about bloody Blackpool? But I need to know what brings the Nuneaton Borough, and how are Nuneaton Borough doing, by the way? That's something else I'd like to know. How are Nuneaton Borough doing at the moment? We need to know. So yeah, so I think that's our thoughts. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll have to, as soon as you've got a soft spot for Blackpool, I'll have to look out for Nuneaton Borough's results in that case. If Nuneaton Borough fans follow us out, I'll keep an eye on your results. And anyway, pleasure to have you on. We're almost at the end. We've kind of said. Oh, that's where you are, yeah? Okay. Reformed as Nuneaton Town, top of the United Counties South, step 5. Jane, that's just one league below Jane. She was match secretary for Chase Town. So yeah, yeah. So we've done a few non-league. I quite like the non-league games. There's a big draw to it, to be honest. I sometimes think I'd be better following non-league because at least you're welcome. when you get to the ground, you know what I mean? People welcome you in. Oh, you got a camera? Oh, do you want to film? Do you want to film something for us? We need the promotion, Do you want to talk to the kit man? Do you want to talk to the guy on the turnstile? Do you want to interview with the manager? Do you want to interview the man of the match award? All this. They love it, honestly, like pariahs at our own club. They hate us. Forest Fan TV says, congratulations on 8K. Oh, if only I could catch you up, Wolfie. There's no bloody chances. What are you on now? About 28,000. What are you on now? Premier League, bloody Forest Fan TV. Okay, yeah, I finally did it after getting relegated. So close to it and spending 2 years trying to get there. Yeah, I finally made it. Oh, right, okay. Oh, it's all coming in now. Hang on, it's all getting exciting now. Kenneth Fryer says, do you ever think you make the English Premier League? Yeah, I think it was a one-off miracle, mate, and it just stars aligned with a lot of things at that moment in time, with Holloway coming in and kind of having the dream of promotion, and the Oystons backing him on his £1 million fund to get in the Premier League for the players, and Bellicon being there and him, getting us in, saying he'd get us in the Premier League in 5 years and doing it in 4. There was a lot of things that all came together, and a lot of the fans were together at that time. Blackpool fans are not happy at the moment. They're not happy with anything. Whatever the club are doing, they need to stop doing whatever it is, because they're just upsetting too many Blackpool fans, and they're just leaving in droves. And the atmosphere is gone. And without the atmosphere, it's gone. The club will never go anywhere without that Blackpool atmosphere, and how we make it and how loud it is. But it's not that at the moment, and they're doing so much wrong. Yes, Chasetown. Yes, of course. Yes. Jane, during the boycott years, Jane used to write as a fan in the local paper. She used to write, and then and football was a life. And of course, the Oysters started suing fans for writing, so she couldn't write anymore. She had to stop writing. She was terrified she'd get sued if she said anything wrong. And of course, they took her football away, and she really took it bad, got depressed, and she went to be match secretary at Chase Town, a local club, and got all the love for football back. And she still keeps an eye on Chase, and we have gone to follow them a few times. T-Boys TV, hello. So see you guys linked with Matt Bloomfield. Yes, we are. And I do believe that you said you quite liked him. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when we had our little, our video on T-Boys TV, by the way, on YouTube, our interview is on there. So if you want to watch that, subscribe to T-Boys TV as well. If you haven't yet subscribed, you can see our interview before we played Luton Town. But I'm pretty sure that you said that you quite liked him. Confirm it if you can. Right, okay. So Killboy's back says attendance in non-league has really improved. Clubs get 1,000 plus. Dulwich Dulwich Hamlet got 3,000 plus, and then the Ishmael. Well, that's it. People are going back to non-league, and there's a lot of attraction to it. And I'll tell you what the attractions are. 1, you're made very welcome. 2, it's very family. 3, you can bring your dogs and everything else. 4, you can have a drink. 5, it's cheap as chips to go and watch non-league, and all the players are playing for the game. For the playing for the love of the game, not for the money, not for anything else. It's just for the love of the game. And in many ways, it's better. I've got to say, in many ways, there's something better about the banter you get when you go there. There's no trouble when you go there. There's not that there's trouble in the Blackpool matches, but there's just a feeling when you go there that they really appreciate the fact that you're actually going there and spending a tenner or whatever it is to go and watch it. And you buy a pounds worth of sweets, and you spend some money behind the bar, and you get, you get some whatever, Bovril at half time, or, some kind of stew or whatever they're doing. You're spending money with them, and you're keeping them going. And they love that, it's like the money from the fans keeps them going. So they appreciate the fans. Whereas it's just, I don't know, the money from the fans in our game doesn't even cover the costs of it all. So they don't appreciate it. They don't appreciate the fans in the same way. In fact, they actually hate the fans. They're kind of against the fans, really. They're worried that they're going to say something bad on social media. It's all, they're going to be saying hurty words and all this sort of stuff. They're obsessed with all the wrong things, and they're not doing enough of the right things like non-league does that makes you feel part of it. I always used to say when Blackpool got promoted into the Premier League, it was as much us as fans got us there, us cheering, us singing, us being so tribal with it all, and the noise that we made, it was deafening. And I felt like it was us, the fans, that got the team up, promoted. That's how you felt. You felt part of it. You felt responsible. If you felt you'd let them down, or you did fantastic and got them up. Now, who cares? Nobody cares anymore. It's so bad and rubbish, and they've treated fans with, honestly, terribly since they've come in. It's a one thing. Yeah, they like to talk to, focus groups and fan groups and all this, and that's not it. That's not it. It's missing the whole point. It's missing the whole point. It should just be about Blackpool people. Everything. The stewards should be Blackpool people. The people that work for the club should be Blackpool people. The videographers, the media team should all be Blackpool people. People who love the club, people who know about the club. People, I go to a celebration of Blackpool's playoff victories, right? All the playoff victories. So they have a player from each playoff final at this meeting, and they show a clip of, this promotion and that promotion at Wembley. And it comes to, Brett Ormrod is there to speak about Blackpool versus Leyton Orient. And the guy that made the video didn't even know that Brett Ormrod scored the last goal. He didn't know. The video cut off. They didn't even put Brett Ormrod's goal in. And that was, honestly, for me, if I'd have been making those videos, there's no way that I would have not known that Brett Ormrod scored late on. There's no way to seal it, to finish it off. Brett Ormrod scored, because I was in Italy and we were at a wedding, and we were coming out from the wedding. I'd have my phone on me all day because I missed it. My dad had my hat on, my lucky hat. He took it in the 90, it was red hot, but he took my hat, and he's ringing. I rang him, we're coming out of the match. How are we going on? And my dad says, he's on the phone to me saying, oh God, it's getting tense. There's not a lot to go now. And he went, oh, hang on. We're on the attack. And I just heard like Brett Ormrod score on the phone to my dad. It was like one of the most amazing moments, and then I know that the following day, Preston lost in their playoff finals, because it's my life. That guy who did that video has no idea about Blackpool. He knows nothing about us other than what he's doing now. They're not Blackpool people. They're not passionate about Blackpool, and everything in it is wrong. Don't get me started. I could go on and on. Oh God. Forest Fan TV. Yeah, flipping heck. Yeah, a million miles away from me. 8,000. I'm not sure it's just a backhanded compliment, to be honest. How about bringing it in all the way back? Well, yes, but the trouble is, he's burned his bridges with Blackpool. Everybody would have brought Ian all the way back if he hadn't a blowing stud on the side of the Oystons and said that Blackpool fans were basically terrible for having a boycott and doing what we did. He stood by the Oystons publicly and said it, and he burned his bridges. He'll never come back. Blackpool fans wouldn't have him back, and it's a shame because I loved him, proper loved him. See, I've got ranty now, and I've changed. I like him as a person. If you're pointing, we can always do a video on your channel or something. Yes, we can. Yes, of course. Yeah, we'll do a video on my channel, and I'll try and get you some more subscribers. Yeah, but was he any good? The True Red is here. Yeah, of course, the Forest fans are here. Hello, how you doing? Yes, are you coming tomorrow to watch Forest under 21s smash Blackpool because we're so crap, probably. Cool Boys are back. Says, I remember during the Oyster. Why can't I get that to? Yeah, I remember during the Oyster years, fans were boycotting Blackpool to watch AFC Blackpool at one point. Yeah, some did. Some went to get the fix at like AFC Blackpool, and a few have probably AFC filed, and some have probably, carried on watching, but it's not been great. He made a big mistake at AFC filed, and he sat the manager. Well, they got rid of the manager. They got to a final. They got to another final, and they got to like their sort of like cup final and the playoff final, and they won the cup final and lost the playoff final, and he got rid of him. And if I'm pretty sure that he's now the manager of Stockport County, and he loved AFC filed. His life, he was devastated when they got rid of him. All his kids had been brought, because he'd been there quite a lot of years. His kids were little when they started, and they were all big AFC filed fans, and the whole family was involved in it. And Dog Food Davey got rid of him, and look where they are now. And they were so close to getting in the Football League, AFC filed. But it's kind of really good for Blackpool that they didn't really, because it would have just been another club sucking fans away from us close by, But anyway, yeah. No, a few did, and we boycotted the matches mainly because the Oysters started suing our fans for things they'd said on the message board, and once they started like attacking like our family, that was the final straw. It was a straw that broke the camel's back. I'm not saying it was already bad, because we'd heard how much money the Oysters were taking out of the club. It was all, it was coming across, things were coming across like there was like a fashion house company that had been given millions, and everything was just disappearing, down different channels. It was very hard even for a forensic accountant to see where all the money trail was, where it was all. And it was always with the Oysters, it was, well, we're taking it out so we can lend it back if ever the club need it. But you just knew, they were taking money out of the club and they were stealing it. And of course they went to court, and that's what the judge said, illegally misappropriating funds, or whatever the decision was. But just basically they were taking money out of the club, and they didn't give Bellicon his fair dues. And so everything that people had actually been saying about them was pretty much true. They were taking money, but we all knew they were, because Oyston took 12 million out straight away out of the money, instead of thinking, right, okay, we just got 100 million, like I would have done, think, right, okay, we've managed to get up there. We're now back in the Championship, where 100 million is worth a lot more than it is in the Premier League, or it was then. You can get good players with 100 million, just reinforce it and go again. But they didn't, they didn't put the money in, and then it all failed. They lost against West Ham. And it all just went sour, and it's a shame. In fact, the Oysters should have sold it there. When they got the Premier League, they could have sold the club for 90 million, because it was guaranteed. Now, if you had 90 million pounds, you give the Oysters 90 million, you were going to get 90 million pounds back. So it was a no-brainer for anybody to buy. And they could have got the 90 million and just rode off into sunset, and everybody would have said, well done, wouldn't they? Nobody would have bothered, but they didn't. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why they just didn't sell it and get rid of it at that time. Well, that's an offer. You're always welcome to Nuneaton Town. Currently ground sharing at Bedworth United. Feel free to do a video here. You may tell me, well, if we ever go back to doing non-league at the moment, it's looking more and more likely with the way Blackpool Football Club are. Just go and get a football fix somewhere else where I find some joy in it. But unfortunately, this is my, I'm like, I bleed tangerine. I don't think I'll, it's just one of the things. It's my curse. The True Red says that Michael Carrick looks the best option. He did do very well with me. Would he come here, Michael Carrick? He wouldn't be a bad shout, actually, to be honest. True Red, he wouldn't, but I don't think he'd come here. Certainly not. He did do incredible with Middlesbrough, yeah. Yes, he is, isn't he? Nigel Pearson. He's always a decent manager, isn't he? He always does well. He could do a good job in League One, but would you be kind of going with Nigel Pearson? Would you be going back to like, that sort of like Mick McCarthy, Steve Bruce again, that we kind of, most Blackpool fans from what I read on the forums seem to be wanting like a young a young, enthusiastic manager. They don't want another, a guy on his way out for his last payday and everything. But Nigel Pearson has, he's always impressed me as well. Although I don't really like him, if I'm being honest. I've never really liked him. When you hear his interviews, he's always a bit, he's never very complimentary when you play against him. There's something about him I just don't really like him. I don't know why that's going bad. In a word, Cool Boy is back. No, we don't consider Fleetwood as a main rival at all. We're not. No, our main rival is the Nobbers. Yeah, Preston North End are our rivals. The Fleetwood derby was kind of big for them because it was great for them to come from where they came, like the bottom of the non-league ladder into the Football League, and then to come and play Blackpool on level terms is massive for them. It's a massive derby for them, but it's just a tram stop derby for us. They're just like that irritating younger brother that that's it. That's all they are. They don't. But having said all that, you don't want to lose to Fleetwood. You know what I mean? That would be just horrific to actually lose to them. So we never have lost to them. They've got a draw or two along the way, but we've never lost to them, and that would be like the worst thing. And if we went down into League Two and we end up playing them again as our derby, our only derby, doesn't even bear thinking about, to be honest. It's just it's traumatic just even thinking about that possibility. Carrick is apparently going to Rangers. Well, yeah, that would make sense. I don't know why it keeps going out of focus when I'm looking. Anyway, it does, so I'll have to sort that out. The True Red says that Carrick wouldn't go to a League One club. That's the only problem. Of course he wouldn't. He certainly wouldn't go to a League One club at the bottom of League One, staring League Two in the face. I mean, who really does want? Who would really want to take it on? I don't think anybody. I think you have to need your bloody head tested if you. But managers get great money, don't they, when they get sacked and they get paid off and they go on gardening leave or whatever. It's not bad. Right, okay, just a couple more and then we're going to get off because I can't think of anything else to say. Simon Grayson available. Give over. Cool. Not in a million years we wouldn't have Simon Grayson back for all the tea in China. No, he's Callum, you are double enthusiastic about Dobbie. Maybe you're right. I hope you are right. Would be great, wouldn't it? We wouldn't cost Simon Sadler so much if he could just slot in and do a fantastic job. It would be brilliant. Tommy97 says, "Hi Lee, hope you are all is good." Well, it's all good, apart from Blackpool FC, who is not good. Been so worried about the results recently. Let's pray whoever we can come in and get us playing. We've got the players to be good at this level. I think so, Tommy. I do believe we have, but when you watch them at the moment, you wouldn't think that they're any good at all. They're awful, aren't they? I mean, they really are awful. I mean, there's no fight in them, is there? There's no fight, there's no drive, there's no determination to get to a loose ball first. The second to every ball, everything's like just panicking and hitting long, hitting aimless balls. It just doesn't look good for it is terrible. Yeah, it did actually. Yeah, the Grayson's career did go down. It kind of burned him, and he's never really got his mojo back, has he? The Walsall manager always impressed me. Young upcoming manager, Sadler, I think his name. Yeah, I think that's been mentioned. I think he would be. Has it Walsall been? No, probably not. No, Sadler. Well, would Simon Sadler employ another Sadler? I don't know. It would be good, wouldn't it? What's this? Benjamin Threlfall says, "Terrible, mate. Terrible. Is that what the football's terrible or the stream's terrible?" It's terrible. Callum Cole says, I'll be watching us win on Saturday 1-0. Well, I'd like to have a really, I'd like it to turn around and have a really convincing, like, 4-0 win or something to show that we actually can play football, not just a raggy one. I'd like to see that. Something actually, looking like we look how we, give us some confidence that we can actually win a game would be great, wouldn't it? Also manager. Yeah, we've done that one. I think we are done. We are done. Thank you very much for joining me on a stream. Hopefully, just all I'm hoping is that Blackpool make the right decision this time, and we get a manager in that does what we want him to do. Just gives us good football. Doesn't matter if he gets us up now. Just get us playing well. Get us feeling good. Get us wanting to come and watch the football. Make it exciting. Make it worth the money you've spent on it, so you don't feel like you're throwing your money down. You've thrown your money down the drain by buying a season ticket, and you just go in for the hell of it, and there's nothing enjoyable. I just would like to see. We all want to see, most importantly, home wins, because home wins, going away, it's a different sort of experience. You don't expect to win, and you kind of make a day of it, and it's all, there's a whole day around the performance of getting the coach or whichever way you go. And even if you lose, you weren't expecting to win particularly. It's a bonus if you do, but at home, it's just that you have to be good at home. You have, and we have not been good at home for a long time. Blackpool, we've been really poor. So that's what I hope. Yeah, watch us win 3 now. That'll do. That will do. That will really do. That'll be good. Cool Boys back says, strange. The last time I seen Blackpool was when you beat Bristol Rovers 5-1. When was that? When was that? We're at home on Saturday, and we're playing Wycombe, which is a bit of a which probably won't be easy. This probably won't be easy. Up the Pearl, says Callum. Right, thank you very much. That's it. I'm done. I'll see you all. Well, if you're going tomorrow to the Forest game, I might see you there. I doubt there'll be many there. And if you're going on Saturday, I have to leave early again, so I might not do. I might just not do a match vlog again, just simply because I want the time to because I'm doing a disco. I'll be coming back very late. I don't get back normally till about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then to start editing a video and putting it together at 3 o'clock in the morning it's not a thing. So I have to start them really late, and then they get on late, and by that time it's kind of lost its flavor. I have to get them on first thing in the morning if I can. So there may not be a match vlog again this week, but I will be there. Even if I have to leave early, I'm going to go. So if you see me outside the ground and you do want to talk to me on camera, then please find me. I'll be somewhere in front of the main west stand on that bit where all the palm treesy bits are. I'll be around there with my camera, and I might even have a new microphone thing so you can talk and interview you. So yeah, like that as well. So I'll see you on Saturday if you go in, and thanks a lot for joining in the stream. I'm going to get off, and I'll see you guys the next time we do one of these. Maybe when we've got the new manager, we'll do another one of these, and we'll have a chat about what we think then. Thanks a lot. Catch you in the next one.